Hello friends, welcome back to another modding video of 7 Days to Die Alpha 13, which just came out. So we're going to take a look at the biggest changes to the XML files in this episode. We're not going to go in depth in particular on any particular one of them. We're just going to go overview of all of them, the new things that have been added, and we're going to fix a couple of things that I've already noticed are little bugs in the game. So your Steam library, wherever you have Steam installed, wherever you have 7 Days to Die installed, Steam library in this case, Steam apps, common. I've got my copy of 7 Days to Die for modding right here. And in your data directory, now your config folder is where all those XML files are stored. So the new ones for Alpha 13 are the the XUI.xml file, the XUI directory. Those control the look and feel of the game, and you can see that I have a video already out on the UI. You can look at that if you want to. It allows you to make some quick and dirty changes to your pardon me, the overall style of the appearance. Colors easiest. Moving things around, maybe increasing output queues, input queues, that kind of thing could be done there as well. And look for more information about that as we all get deep into what we actually can control on the UI. But so there'll be lots of videos about those as time goes on. Other new files, progression.xml and weathersurvival.xml. So those two files control your skills and your weather survival. So we'll look at those here just momentarily. Biomes XML file, we'll go ahead and open it up and look at it. It is pretty much the same as it was in A12. The only thing they've added in is they've added in the irradiated, the burnt forest is fixed a little bit, and they've made a few changes on a few items. But basically, it's the same as it was in A12 for the most part. So I'll be going over that more in depth later on. But this file, mostly the same as A12. It does control your overall global weathers situations. So just so you can show you that where that is in each biome, this temperature is the offset to the global temperature. So immediately in the snow biomes, 50 degrees cooler. This is 50 degrees Fahrenheit cooler. So just keep that in mind. If you want to make the game warmer, you can go into the Biomes XML file, into your snow biome, get rid of that, and it wouldn't be quite so chilly. All right, so that's the Biomes XML file. Blocks XML, big changes in Blocks XML. So what they've done is they have established what I call inheritance in the game. So they can define a block. Now let's look at dirt. So we look at dirt. Dirt is defined, and they can give it all kinds of properties. So material, shape, a mesh, a texture, what happens on destroy, what happens on drop, what happens on LP hardness scale. And now we've got clay, and it, as you can see, it's got a property of extends. So this inherits everything from dirt, and then they can override individual properties. So anything that's not overridden inherits the parent. So for example, the material, and so let's go look up here. So material, shape are both inherited. I don't know why they bothered to extend that. That's already inherited in the same value. Interesting. So as you can tell, this makes the blocks a little easier because rather than having to define all the properties, they can do it all from one. And you really can tell on things like, let's see if we can find sod, hard sod, extend sod, and just affect a few things about it. Wood debris, anything where it's extending is the important part. Now this description key, now these relate to the localization, which has not been exposed yet. Hopefully they'll expose that soon so we can do localization. But this basically tells it where to look up some information about it, what description to apply. Now, can mob spawn on is false for most of the blocks now. And there's also a few new properties that are set. And I don't think they're mostly in here. They're mostly in the items XML file. Yeah. So anyway, the biggest change in the blocks XML is that there's that new extends property and the description key property. So all the blocks have been redone and kind of unified under that extends. So just keep that in mind that has been changed pretty considerably. Buffs, a couple of new things in buffs. It's mostly the same, and we'll be going over this again in more detail as time goes on. But they've added a few new buffs. They've added yucca juice cooling, so you can make a yucca juice that'll cool you, and red tea that'll cool you. So these two items, if you're in the desert, yucca juice will cool you down, cool your core temp, which is a new stat, by 10. So you can now create buffs that apply to your core temp. So core temp is what affects things. And they've also added a new, let's go down here to the bottom. This is something I'm playing with here. Warmed by fire, I've got chilled by AC I'm working on to see if I can make a working AC unit that'll cool you down. So anyway, warmed by fire, it's got this new name key, tooltip key, description key. Those also apply to that localizations file, which is not exposed, but those are the text that appears. So no longer can you have the text appear in here without those. At least I haven't tried yet, but it might. We'll find out. Oh yes, we'll find out. So again, this tells you what it's applying, what type of thing it's applying. So again, we're applying core temp by 30. And it's got a heat source greater than or equal to 1 and debuff if heat source is less than 1. So this is if you're within range of a block that casts a heat source. Okay, and if we look at the blocks, I just want to show you this one. Find name equals Campfire. Do it that way so I don't have to get anything else. So you can see there is, let me close this search window. You can see there's a new property right here, active radius effects. So the value here is plus heat source and parentheses, a parameter that's being passed 3. So this gives a heat source with a value of 3. This is the block's radius from the placement position. So if this is, let's make a new window here just so you can show you. So let's just have a little grid. Oops. Okay, so there's a little grid. A little, actually it's not 5 by, it's 4 by 4. Okay, so 5 by 5. So if this spot is the place where we put the thing, okay, so 1, 2, 1, 2. So it's 1, 2, 3 is total count. It includes the position where the object is. So this buff applies out. It's a 3 radius of blocks. So where that went? Oh, it's in the blocks itself. Heat source 3. So if you want your campfires, or if you make maybe a large bonfire kind of object, and you want the heat source to extend out further, you could say plus heat source and maybe do a 5 or a 6, and then it would be a bigger radius where you're going to get that heat buff applied. So basically what this does is these are active buffs that look and see if plus heat source is greater than or equal to 1. So basically it's going to look and see, is there a heat source nearby? And if so, give you a 30-degree warm. So again, I'm playing around. I'm hoping to come up with a working air conditioner. And then they've also added in hypothermia. There's 3 stages of hypothermia. It's also overheated, then heat stroke 1, 2, and 2, and you get your wet condition. If you've got water level, which is another condition that's out there that could be affected. So water level and core temp and this where'd it go again? Heat source are new items to be played with a little bit. Sleeping Awesome also, I think this is for new beds. So we'll look at that as well. What else? Entity classes. All of your new zombies are in here. One thing I would recommend doing and fixing, at least I feel that's a fix that probably should be done. We'll go down to entity or animal stag. Oh, of course, they all look for that. Equals animal stag. Oops, I gotta spell animal correctly. Wrong, bad. Okay, so here's our animal stag. So you got animal stag, animal bear, zombie bear. Oh god, it kills. How many hit points does it have? I haven't looked at that yet. 2,400 hit points. Oh my god. Run away. Just run far away. They did lower the hit points on the other animals. Your animal rabbit, your animal chicken. Again, extending the base parameters. But here's what I want you to look at and possibly look at. This is the harvest. Time stay after death. This value right here, I found early on in the game, when you are just starting out, you can't harvest the animal. You can't kill it, get to it, and harvest it fast enough for it to not turn into a gore block before it finishes, so you don't get the payoff at the end. So I found that going in here and just changing this to 120 seconds lets the body stay around long enough for you to get a chance to really harvest the whole animal. So that's the one change in here that I recommend doing kind of off the beginning of the game, is going and extending that so that you can actually harvest the whole animal. So that's entity classes. Other than that, they basically just have the new zombie screamer, zombie Marlene, zombie Yo, zombie Steve Crawler. So Steve is the walker. He's the guy on the crawling around the ground. Snow zombie, spider zombie, bird zombie, non-zombie nurse, that zombie cop. All your normal guys are in there. Zombie dog, which appears to be easier to kill now. Not sure. And then, yeah. So anyway, that's the entity classes XML file. Entity groups. This defines what spawns where, when. Zombie Bo, Joe, Steve, Mo, Yo, Darlene, Marlene, and so Arlene, Darlene, and Marlene are the females. Nurse. So those guys can spawn in different groups. So this file controls all of the spawning, what happens where, when. Oh, farm, how cute. I don't see good. Zombie doesn't seem to spawn a whole lot. Oh, look. Notice this. Zombies can spawn in caves now. Bear in mind, they can spawn in caves again. Bears, especially, have a high chance of spawning in caves. So, caves are not a safe place any longer. All right, so groups are just those. You can have colors. Yeah, whatevs. Not really caring about that. Your items XML file, again, your standard, pretty much standard thing. They didn't do a whole lot here. They did add a couple of new properties. Those new properties are as follows. They added description key, action skill group, and crafting skill group. This basically tells it which skill gets incremented when it's used, and which skill gets incremented when it's crafted. There's also a action experience and an action bonus multiplier. Action experience bonus multiplier. Those are new fields that can be tweaked with. There's also, where is it? We'll find one with the fire axe here. This fire axe will have it. Dismemberment base chance and bonus. So this has got a dismemberment base chance from 0.1 to 0.3. So it's got a chance of doing that. And you can also use it to butcher. So tool category butcher allows it to be used as a butchering tool. So you can butcher someone or butcher a deer with a fire axe. That's horribly cruel. Horribly cruel, I say. So those are some new items there. A fix here, there's one bug I've noticed so far. If you go to name equals shotgun. Oh, let me just go shotgun. So shot off pump shotgun. The your magazine items is what things can go in. They've got it set right at the bat so the sawed-off shotgun cannot use a shotgun slug. If you want to be able to use shotgun slugs, just got to go in here and type shotgun slug. Okay? Do not have a space in this. It looks for everything in there. So if there's a space, it'll look for something called space shotgun slug. Okay? It does not do a trim when it does that. They should fix that. So make sure, if you want to use shotgun slugs in your sawed-off shotgun, make sure you add that to your magazine items. That's on line 1117 of default. And then also attachment flashlight, activate object, flashlight source, light source. So yep. And then again, shotguns, gunsmithing. And so also the other shotgun has a bug in it. Let's go to pump shotgun. Okay. Right here. The default game has a space. Okay. So by default, you cannot add shotgun slugs to either gun. So you got to go in here and get rid of this space in order to fix that, in order to use shotgun slugs in the shotgun. And if you want to use a shotgun slug in the sawed-off, you got to go ahead and add, comma, shotgun slug as a magazine item into the sawed-off. Okay. Next file, the loot. Loot is pretty much same as it was before. So you've got your groups of items at the top, and then you've got your loot quality templates. They've moved the loot template qualities into here because before there was a separate file for that. And they've got some good comments in here about how the looting actually works. So you can look through that if you want to. Your loot groups, what items appear in those loot groups, and books. So you can see what books are all out there in rare books. And you've also got your regular common books with your regular common schematics. So they're all behind a book. Food, meats, all that stuff. Meat, they got rid of all the extra meats, as you guys know, as we just have meat now rather than all the stuff. I don't know how I feel about that. I may put other meats back in. I think that there should be a benefit to bear stew over rabbit stew, but because you have to kill, I mean, basically you get the same quality right now off of rabbit stew versus, ooh, that is probably going to cause issues. That's bad, Pimps. You shouldn't have just plain text sitting around in an XML file. You should probably comment that out. Bad, Pimps. That may or may not cause problems. And yeah, anyway, that's your pretty much bog standard loot XML file. Materials, again, this is all the materials that are used in the game. They've got copper in here, and they've got a few other things in here that aren't applied. So copper ore is still out there, just not exposed. Miscellaneous, this is just animations and smells. And your default colors for groups and qualities. So if you want to change colors of anything in there, you can do that there. You can also change the strength radius for certain smells. Farts. I just love the fact that farts are a thing. And different hold types. If you're going to be trying to get a different kind of hold, you want to know what hold to use for your item. If you're making a new item, those hold types are listed in here. It tells you, you can see what else is using that and kind of get an idea. Physics wise, this is where all of the ragdolls are defined, so don't mess with that if you want to not break things. And progression is where the skill sets are done. Max level of the player, 200. 200 XP, 2000 XP per level. Haven't tweaked and played to see exactly what that is. How many experience points you get per level. Skill points, I mean, per level to apply. You could modify it if you wanted to. And then how things are applied. And we'll go over this more in depth later on. But, for example, entity damage is applied, is affected by your athletics skill. So this tells you what things are applied to what skill. So if you want to improve your loot quality, your scavenging skill is the one you want to improve. So it tells you that from 0 to 50, it gives you from 1 to 1.25 increase in loot quality. From 50 to and up, it goes from 1.25 to 1.45. And at 100 skill level, you get 1.5 times the base loot quality. So, and loot time. So this is where your loot timer would go down. Same thing with your craft timers. Block damage, entity damage, crafting time. So weaponsmithing. So anything weaponsmithing wise is affected. So 100 skill, it's a quarter time. It's not instant, but it's a quarter time. And you could also make that even faster if you wanted to. As well as your creative time. So all these kind of things can be tweaked in this progression. This is all your skilly stuff. Lots and lots of skilly stuff. Okay? And these are the modifiers that can be affected. And I wonder if we can get some buffs as well. We'll have to play with that and see if we can do buffs that will affect. That'd be cool if you could make a potion that would make you repair faster or something. We'll have to play and see if we can do something like that. Quality info, it's, yeah, fnerb. Recipes, big change in recipes. All completely changed. Much easier to make recipes now because you don't have to think of where you don't have to build the little grid. You can just say the items and how many. I like that. It's straightforward, simple. They cleaned it up a bunch. They got rid of a lot of the miscellaneous crap, and they've added pretty much all of the default blocks in the game are now in here as recipes. So that is much nicer. So that's recipes. Your random world generation mixer. This is your mixer file that controls how the world looks. What things to spawn where. It's all using the vanilla rule set, which gives you, a 5% chance of it being a wasteland hub, 1% chance of it being low density, or 100% chance, or if it doesn't get that, then it gets high density, blah, 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 blah. We'll go into that more in detail, but this is your rules for how the world gets populated and what stores get spawned, what buildings get spawned, all that kind of stuff. So if something isn't spawning properly, we can look in here and tweak that around. Like right now, it appears that the rundown, abandoned, broken, burnt version of the old crafting house has become the new ranger station as far as spawn frequency. So that could be affected in here. Sounds. One thing I'd like you to look into here. Step sounds are new. So all these step sounds are new. That's the stepping over stuff and onto gravelly and walking over stuff. But if you want to get rid of the refrigerator sound, fridge. This is the sound of the refrigerator that always runs, no matter what. Always running. Easiest way to do it, go in here. I tried changing the volumes. Didn't make a bit of difference. Go in here and just change this name. By default, it's LP. I just added a 1 after it. And my refrigerator is silent now, which is glorious. I'm just going to say. So that's all your sounds are in here. So if you want to get rid of any particular sound, just go for it. Spawning. This is the spawning rules for all the zombies and how many can spawn in certain biomes, classes of things. Again, we'll be going over this much more in detail as time goes on. Your vehicles, the chassis for a mini bike, gravity multiplier if you want to make it float in midair, what parts are required, all the base. This is the same as it was in A13 or A12, sorry. And then weather survival, the last but not least. Yes. So generated heat. So this is, well, we're going to go over this much more in detail later on. But basically, this is where all your weather tuning values are set. So you can go in here and change all kinds of stuff about the game. This is, as you go up in height, anything above from 60 to 100, you're going to slowly cool down. From 60 to 100, everything's fine at 60 to 100. Any over 100 to 130, you're going to lose 5 degrees global temperature. Now that combines with your biome. So the biome, as we saw back over here, did I close that one? I did close it. For snow, minus 50 off the bat. So right off the bat, for biome, for snows above 100, we're now at minus 55 degrees off the bat. Whoa, cold, chilly, chilly, chilly. And as you go higher, it gets even colder. Wow, it gets freaking, don't be in the snow above 200 blocks. You will freeze your tail off. It's going to be hard to combat that level of cold. And then other things like when you're moving, as you're expending energy doing things, you can generate heat. Like here's your degrees per point of stamina used, 0.25. So every time you do something that costs you stamina, you get a little bit of heat generated, and then how fast it decays in seconds. So we'll go over this a lot more, and we'll try out some different things, and we'll experiment with that whole thing. So the last file is the XUI, and I've gone over that in detail in a separate video, but this lets me control the UI itself. These are the windows that are defined in the UI, and those are also defined in this XUI folder. So these help out things in there. All right, so that was kind of a quick look at all the new XML files, and we will be going over them individually in detail in the next few days, learning what we can tweak and can't tweak. And did I go over miscellaneous? Yeah, that was the whole types. Okay. All right, for now, if you guys liked it, click the like button. Let me know in the comments if you want me to go over something in particular first, or you want me to cover something in depth, or you have a question about something. Mods will be coming. Yes, they will be coming. I'll be rolling out first a silenced weapons pack, and then I still need to get a better feel for the game before I start doing too much more. Probably crops will be soonish, and perhaps some new buffs and things, but the Rongo mod pack will come along soon. There's just a lot to incorporate and tweak and change, and a lot of experimentation. So bear with me over the Christmas holidays, because it is the Christmas holidays, and I do have other things to do, so I will get to them as fast as I can. In the meantime, it's been RongoTheBold. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.